Our goji berry grew very well the first year. I was a little unsure of how much protection it would need, so I piled up leaves around the container and then piled up leaves on top of the container, as you can see here. I tried to keep it covered like that all winter. On March 22nd, the following spring, I uncovered it just to see if we had any signs of life. And we did. There's some green at the bottom. Although there isn't a lot of green, I was surprised to see any green because our last frost date is around May 1st, so it was still pretty early. Along with the green that was showing already, there were quite a few buds that were just starting to open. Since the soil was pretty dry and this plant looked like it wanted to grow, I went ahead and gave it a good soaking. I just held the hose on it and let it soak until the water ran down, and then I put the hose on it again. I repeated that until I was convinced it was good and soaked. That darker wet soil made the green a little bit easier to see. I wasn't sure exactly how well it would do in the second year, but it didn't take long until it started to show quite a bit of green. I repotted it, and this is what it looked like on April 13th. As you can see, there's lots of green already, and it's actively growing even before the last frost date. I started a couple of plants from seeds, so the next winter I had 3 plants instead of 1, and instead of using leaves to cover the plants, I used straw. And I just covered it up pretty much like I did the year before and tried to keep it covered if the wind blew any off. And here I'm just taking some straw off to take a peek like we did the spring before. This time I uncovered them even earlier, and this is on March 4th. I put the seedlings in 2 different size pots, and I found out that the larger the pot, the better the plant grows. Even though it's almost a full 2 months before our last frost date, both of these plants were trying to grow already, and even had some green leaves starting to bud out towards the upper parts of the stems. That's the part that surprised me the most about our goji berries, is that they started to show signs of life so early in the year. Like the year before, they were showing signs of growth already, so I went ahead and gave them a good soaking. Since we had 3 plants instead of just 1, I experimented with our original plant by not covering it at all, and as you can see, it's doing just fine. The main thing I found out about growing goji berries in containers in our area is that they're very hardy and start to grow very early in the year. And this one had no covering at all and did just fine. I did a video on how I repotted my goji berry and started about a dozen new plants. One about how I started goji berries from seeds, and one that followed the first year of growth for our first goji berry. If you're interested in watching any of those, I'll put links down below. If you're just now finding this channel, please subscribe. We'll see you next time.